music loud in the chamber. Pressure gets colder. Resla walks in, truth riding his shoulder. Here for the shift, tear the mask of pretenders. Beat drop, he's a fucking monster. Cuts through the noise, pulls the lies in the daylight. Every move calculated, every word's a fist fight. Building new codes, stacking bricks for the future. Turning midlife to gold, cut the chains like a suture. Keeps time as a weapon, each tick is a death note. Lights up the skyline, watch the whole city take note. Not chasing the fame, here to freeze what's smoke. Then break open the silence, keep the truth ice coated. No clock to punch in, he's the one who dictates. Every second's a fuse, watch the skyline detonate. Eyes closed, living from the sideline. No talking, I'ma do it, bitch, it's my time. Everything's swerving, driving off of my tie. But I'm cool as can be, look at my eyes. These some pictures you can't put up on your timeline. More vivid than the NYC skyline. Some crazy shit you can't imagine, only I find. You just coming for a trip inside my mind. The street lights hum when the night's in my grip. Voices fade out, but the truth never slips. Shadows on the wall dance slow, then divide. I follow where they lead with the calm in my stride. Breath like smoke, but the fire stays quiet. Dreams turn sharp when the silence goes violent. You see a moment, I'm already past it. My mind's a museum and you can't outlast it.
What's good, y'all? Well, what is good, y'all? Hopefully everything is good. Ooh, I'm going through it. I'm sorry. I'm not 100% right now, guys. I'm going through it. I managed to just piss myself off even just before the stream, which is why I'm a little bit late coming into the game. But hopefully your nights hopefully your nights are a hell of a lot better than mine. And I hate all kind of news, all kind of stuff. I guess I'm just gonna dive into it, but before I get a little further, because I literally had to do all bunch of shit and then something happened and I got a phone call pissing me off. I literally threw one of my keyboards, so I had to rush to get this keyboard in. Don't worry about me; it's an okay thing. Let me move this chat over so I can actually see it. You woke up breathing. Hopefully you did. Hopefully you don't wake up not breathing. That would be something. Hopefully you guys are having a good night. I just kind of want to get a little something out there. I should have been live a long time ago, but it's been a very interesting evening to say the least. I just kind of want to get a little something out there because I just really feel like I needed to just talk a little bit, not necessarily vent, but just talk a little bit about some things, because as we are wrapping up the end of the year, with the few days that we have left, I feel like there are things that just need to be discussed. A lot of people will not understand. A lot of people are going to be doing whatever. This is the last. Now I'm thinking about it right now. This is the last Friday before the year is up. So you're probably going to get some of your creators that's going to come in and they're going to try to take over the weekend because it's the last. Technically, it's the last weekend before we hit a whole new year. I don't care. Do whatever you got to do. Dom, I see you're in the building. What's going on? Not sure why I don't see you on my particular chat, but I do see you on my laptop. So what's good? And then I see Mama there. I don't know why I don't sort that later. I'll just move this across over here. And of course, if you're walking in the building, say what's up to people in the chat. If not, do whatever the hell you're gonna do because you're gonna do it anyway. Quite frankly, this has been a very different and changing year for me. There's been a lot of stuff going on in my life that I don't really tell you guys, and I try to sort it out the best way that I can. I know you guys like to believe that my entire life, or anyone who does content, their entire life is online. Although I could just tell you to go fuck yourself, because that's not true. Just stop treating people like they're not living, breathing people just like yourself that have to pay bills and take care of families and everything else. And as I roll back and I do a little bit of deep diving, even to the point where I got pissed off just a moment ago, into what we do in our lives, I gotta say that we didn't come this far. Or rather, I'm just gonna put it out this way. I didn't come this far just to come this far. I'm just gonna put it straight like that. And that's the way I put my title. And I don't mean I don't mean that in some motivational Instagram quote way. I mean it in the most literal sense possible. I did not go about my time and everything that I did and everything I had to learn and everything that I had to basically go through to survive what I had to survive, to learn what I had to learn, to build what I've built. Whether it's online, because this is not my career, everything that I've done in my own lifetime, just to end up spending, especially here online, but people and offline too, but especially here online. I did not do all this to just end up spending the rest of my life arguing over bullshit that doesn't move anything forward, especially, quite frankly, specifically here online. Especially not in the spaces where the same arguments repeat, the same people rotate, and or rather, I should say, new people come in, but the same topics rotate, the same conversations rotate, and nothing ever really changes. And I think that's the most. I think that's the part that's really missing for a lot of people in their lives, because you do New Year's resolutions. I'll always say the question, why? But so many people want so many different changes in their life. They want their lives to get better, or they want something new in their life, but they don't do anything. They don't make the thought process or the action steps to actually make these things a thing. They're just hoping that one day someone's gonna come along and just say, "Hey, look, I've noticed you. I think you deserve this." And that's not the way how life works. At some point, you have to ask yourself, what you're really doing, is it worth your time, the thing that you're doing? And that means whether you're sitting there snorting on your freaking keyboard, whether you're watching tons of freaking corn, whether you are freaking wasting your time doing shit that has no business doing, whether you're working at a dead end space hoping that somebody's gonna acknowledge you one day, you need to ask yourself, what exactly you're doing. You're not gonna. This is not your keyboard that you're looking at right now. You cannot control undo. Sorry, guys. If you're sitting on your phone, you cannot scroll backwards and just hit it over again. You can't scroll the screen backwards and just. That's not the way how life works. Because what people call engagement right now, most of it is just about reactions without any form of directions. You said what? Or Dr. Phil saying that, is it working for you? That's a fact. But is he wrong by saying it? If you're doing the same shit that you've always been doing, but you're getting up every morning to go do work, to look at your family, to go look at your wives or your husbands or whatever, and you're complaining or you're stating to yourself that you think that you should be having a better life, but all you do is the same fucking routine, say to what the fuck Dr. Phil said then. Is it working for you? Because obviously it's not, because you're still asking yourself these things. We literally have days left until a brand new year. But are you still holding on to an old you? Are you mostly just dealing in areas, dealing in spaces, whether it's your offline life or online life, just dealing in reactions without any form of direction? I'm talking about noise that you can get all over. You're so distracted with all the noise, but you have no sense of ownership. I'm talking about conflict that you love to engage in that really have no consequence. And by the way, I want to be clear. This isn't me pretending that I'm above it all. I've been told you guys I'm a fuck up like anybody else. And I know that there are plenty of people, creators, grifters, those who don't really got shit going on that want to turn around and then talk shit about other people because, quite frankly, they don't want you to actually know the truth. They don't actually want you to hear something that's real because they need you for the grift. They need you to get excited. This is me saying that I have been where you have been, but I have seen where a lot of these things lead. Because I've been in way different places and been on the internet a little bit longer than what you guys think. And a lot of y'all, honestly, you don't want to think. I think that's part of your appeal of wanting to be online. And to me, I'm like, That's a sad place to be. I know people want distractions, but the idea that when people say they don't really want to think, why bother breathing and getting up? What's your purpose? What is your meaning? Why do you do what you do? If you're willing to just surrender it all and just be a mindless drone. I'm simple question. No, some of y'all don't like it, but that's what people need to be comfortable with when they're here on my channel, because my idea is to get you to think. I've seen where a lot of this stuff that a lot of people like to engage in leads. It leads to creators who, quite frankly, can't rest because they think that they have to be a dancing monkey for you every day and give you something every day. It is creators who can't pivot because if they have something that they really want to do, or they have something that they think will be very beneficial to you, you guys pigeonhole them to what they've already been doing. And if not you, it's an algorithm as well. It's a two-part process. There are creators who can't shut the fuck up long enough to hear themselves think. You should think about that. Because when your relevance is built on conflict, silence becomes a very dangerous thing. So what do people have to do in order to stay relevant? People have to stay loud. They have to stay reactive. They have to stay, dare I say it, angry. Not because they're passionate, by the way, but because they don't know who they are without a fight. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's why you guys find it so appealing and you guys want a whole debate space, which is not even new, because you guys are the newest addition to a debate space that's already been a thing for years. And here's the part people really don't want to talk about. These spaces don't avoid serious conversations because they're incapable of having them. No. That's not it. They avoid them because that shit hurts to have to go through. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. You know what's something you guys will sit there and talk about other creators. You guys will sit there and talk about little beef and little stupid shit and people that you swear you hate, but you'll go fucking subscribe to them because you want to know in their lives so you can sit in your fucking chest, you can talk shit about them. You're part of the problem, by the way. And then, at the end of it all, what did you really get out of it? It entertains you to have hatred in your heart for someone else? This is what gets you your day by? This is what gets your life going by? You can't think of how you can benefit yourself. You don't think about how much money you can be making. You don't think about how much solid. You don't care about money. You can think about how much peace, how much solitude, how much. I think a lot of you people don't really have much going on in your lives. Not much family, not a spouse, not a partner, no kids. Like it can't be, because you spend your time, not for nothing, baptizing yourself in anger and being triggered online. And a lot of people don't talk about the things that are really important to other human beings, including themselves. Like living in a proper place, like bills, like money. You don't do it. David Wayne, I appreciate that. And Merry Christmas. Well, we're past Christmas, so I'm going to say it like the rest of the next new year to you. Hopefully it's good. Some type shit. Absolutely. Hopefully you and your family is good. I think a lot of you guys be missing the mark because the people that you want to listen to don't give you the mark to live on. Don't give you the mark to look at. Because it's all about in the moment. It's not about what the future is going to bring to you. And again, maybe it's just me. Maybe I just rather see us. And when I say us, I don't just mean the people that follow me. I want to see us as an entire nation do fucking better. And the moment I even say something like that, guess what? A lot of you guys already get scattered brain. You know, when you start thinking about politics, religion. Fuck politics. Fuck religion. We're talking about your meaning to life. How about that shit? Because you can get by and have a really good life and it has nothing to do with politics or religion. A lot of you guys are fucking lost. And you're looking for someone else to tell you about something that you should be doing as a grown-ass adult. Let's be honest, the majority of people who watch these debate spaces are all fucking adults. There is no one here under 18 that's watching shit. And that's why you'll see endless drama, endless beef, endless moral grandstanding, but almost no discussions based on things that are important, like leveling up, like getting your money together, getting your finances together. Not personal money, not personal responsibility, not discipline, not choices, not trade-offs, not about other people. Because one of the things that doesn't get explained, especially in spaces that we see, especially when it comes to the idea of money, instead you want to say, well, I got more subscribers than you. Subscribers doesn't mean that you equals money, because you can have subscribers and not have the viewership, because even as a content creator, viewership means more to that system than subscribers. You can have a plethora of subscribers. You have a plethora of followers. If no one is there, eyeballs to watch, your fucking whole shit is done. And that's why you don't get a lot of people that want to talk about money, because if money exposes people, money exposes not just the people, but money also exposes things people don't want to be exposed. Because you guys who believe that they're doing well, or that they talk shit about each other, talk about what their numbers are. It's easy to say, I got more subscribers than you are. Anyone can have a lucky break and get subscribers. Anyone can have a good viral video. This is why that concept of being viral is so appealing, but the concept of making money is not. Let me say that one more time for you, because I think I was saying it too fast, or maybe you were listening slow. The appeal, especially in these content wars for content creators, to talk about how many people that subscribe to them, not how many people are watching them or how much money that they're actually fucking making. And you'll sit here and watch a whole bunch of people argue over pennies. But again, what's the meaning of it all? Not the meaning of the content. Even for you as a person who's sitting there and watching, hopefully not studying, hopefully not wasting your time. What does it mean? I'm looking at a lot of stuff and I'm thinking it exposes how you spend your time. I'm looking at how it exposes whether you plan to actually react in your comment section, or where you want to react in your streams, or how much shit you want to freaking share to the next motherfucker. Make little clips and little shorts and shit like that. How it exposes whether you want to build or just talk shit. How it exposes whether you're actually free or are you just fucking loud. Which one's going to be? So instead of talking about things that are really important, like family, like money, like what it means to actually have loyal friends around you, what it means to actually have a job or a hobby that you actually like, you guys want to talk about what? Trans people, politics, religion. Not the shit that actually you have to go through every day you wake up. You want to talk about, let's be honest, the shit that really doesn't affect you on a regular everyday basis. You guys want to believe that politics is affecting you on a regular everyday basis? It's not. Because it takes time before a bill can get changed. Same way how it takes time to get a motherfucker out of office. So that's not every day. It's not every day. Trans people are bothering you every day? Seriously? Huh? Dick and pussy conversation. If you're single yesterday, you're single today, you're going to be single tomorrow. DMP don't fucking matter. You are still a sandy a sandy 7-year itch fucking vagina, or you're still a dry dick motherfucker. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. Be mad you just not building the skills to have better game. Or you just don't have enough because you too busy looking about how other people are gonna look at you that you just won't pay for box. There's only days left. I'm gonna just say what the fuck I gotta say. What you gonna do? You gonna unsubscribe? Oh, am I gonna be worried about that? Am I gonna be worried about that? No, I'm not gonna be worried about that. I've been telling y'all since the year began. You're not comfortable? Fucking go. Pay your $40. Pay your $50. You know what? For some of y'all, you don't wanna fuck nobody unless you think that they're a fucking a 6 all the way to a 10. When the truth of the matter is, like, you know what? If you just out here sitting there begging, looking fucking thirsty and fucking everything else, if you sitting here buying fucking OnlyFans or everything else, here's what I'm gonna tell you right now: go find yourself a little no teeth gum jar bitch and get your dick wet. Because I am so tired of seeing you motherfuckers all up in these motherfucking chats talking all this bullshit when we can tell just based on how you are and how much time you spend online that we know you really don't got nothing going on. You definitely ain't got no bitch in your life. I'm going to just call it out. For New Year's Eve, all you need is a bitch. You sitting here waiting for Princess Diana to fucking show up. Instead of talking about the shit that really matters. Like getting your finances together. Living a better living standard instead of sitting here saying, I'm okay being dusty. Because some of y'all don't barely have a fucking pot to piss in. Or a window to throw it out of. Some of y'all are literally bumming on someone's couch. Just go. Keep it a buck. So instead of talking about the things that actually are going to affect you, and not just you, because when you do better, your family does better. And if not your family, by happenstance of having a network of friends, your friends also look better. Because when you're doing good, it not only feeds what you're doing, but if you have a good circle around you, it pushes them to want to do better. Or are you going to be the runt of the group? But instead of talking about the things that really matter, like where we're living, I can find the proper partner for me. If I can build up a little bit of extra money in my life. Let's go talk about the things that make no fucking sense because, quite frankly, they're not going to be able to help you. And this is what I'm talking about when you guys get into these conversations like about politics or about religion, because you'll argue ideology, you'll talk about systems, you'll argue who's oppressed and who's winning, you'll argue capitalism, you'll argue socialism, you'll argue communism, you'll argue fairness, you'll argue fucking corruption. But most of you, especially even most of these creators, don't do anything to really showcase how things could be better for the overall people that they claim is a community that's supporting them. Most of them aren't actually fighting over the things that are going to be tangible to being successful. They are fighting over ideals of money, not money itself. And most of all, only their pockets. They're not thinking about your pockets, by the way. You give me. Me, not thinking about what you can get. Because why? Obvious. They don't have it. They don't manage it. They don't control it. They don't understand how it moves. And there's nothing wrong with that because at least they're in a position where they can now think about how to get it. But I ask these very simple questions. Why aren't you thinking about that? How to get it? How to understand it? How to make it move? Because let's be honest, a lot of people don't know how to even protect it once they have it. This is why people who even win the fucking lottery go broke in a fucking year or two. What are you doing for yourself? But not for nothing, you'll sit around wasting your hours of the day. The only thing that's really important is time. And you'll waste it doing what? spending years arguing over fucking what? Because arguing about money, like, I'm the kind of person that even if I'm on a job, they say don't talk about politics and don't talk about politics, don't talk about money on the job. Don't talk about religion as well. And I go, yeah, I don't give a shit about religion and I really don't give a shit to talk about politics, but I love talking about money. I like talking about money. Why would I be upset about talking about money? I literally live in a country built on capitalism. Yeah, sure, we're not going to agree on religion and we're not going to agree on politics, but I think we can all agree on money. What say you? Maybe you don't get it wrong with the person who's a Jew, and maybe you are a freaking a Christian, or maybe you're Muslim. Maybe you're dealing with somebody on your job who might be a liberal, and maybe you're a conservative. Are you gonna say that you both don't give a shit about money? You guys don't have an interest in money? And what about any other motivations that you got going on in life? Because people argue, or rather, people that they should be arguing about things like money, but they don't. What they want to argue about things that like, oh, I want a proximity to power. Well, what helps you get power? How about actually having conversations that actually mean something to you? And I'm not just saying focus on money itself, but like even when I hear people talk about these things, like these revolving door conversations, I just go, who is it helping exactly? Who exactly is this helping? Because how does that help you get off your ass? Hey, when did someone ever say, you know what? Because by the way, you'll get a lot. Not that all content creators are like this, but how many of you actually see content creators that you'll turn around and they'll turn around and say, hey, without selling you a course, they just go, I'm going to give you a gem. You should go look into doing this. I'm not saying stocks, shit like that, but you should go look into doing this. Hey, there's no reason why you shouldn't be starting a business. Hey, if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're not really doing what you want to do in life, you should really start thinking about, especially if you're younger, because the one thing that we all share, regardless of how young you are and how old you are, is time. And here's the best part about time. It doesn't matter when you start. What matters is up here. You could be in your 40s and 50s and you can become a millionaire. Or you can be in your early 20s and you can become a millionaire. So it doesn't fucking matter when you do it. What matters is, do you have the capability and do you have the ambition because of this up here? Or are you going to be too busy being in a victim mode and saying that the reason why you can't do it is because of someone else outside of yourself? And here's the best part. I'm going to put it out there. Not everybody's going to get it. But you cannot, like when I hear people complain about like immigration, right? But immigrants are coming in, not all of them, but you'll have immigrants that come in and all of a sudden they're able to start making a bunch of money. But they had to come in and they had to figure out what was here, and then they started putting shit together to be able to make money. But you've been here all your life and you can't put shit together? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? Because they say if it doesn't make dollars, then it doesn't make sense. And a lot of people that I see, especially online, are fucking advocates. They run their mouth like they're politicians, but they don't actually do shit. I am so over, because 2024, but especially 2025, I've heard more people run their mouth than actually try to do anything. Literally, I've heard too many people speak. Not many people do shit. This year, like they said, 2024 was the year of accountability, but this year was the year of complaints. What the hell does it actually mean for you? And I say this to you with only a few days left, because hopefully you're not sitting here thinking, well, my New Year's resolution, I'm going to start getting myself back in the gym, or I'm really going to work towards it. How? That how is more important. Don't worry about the why. How? Who's going to be a part of your network? How you going to get it done? We're done manifesting. We need strategies. What are you planning on doing? Because arguing over the feelings of proximity when it comes to money over power, well, I'm gonna put myself, here's what I'm gonna do, wrestler. I'm gonna apply to that job that I know I really don't like, but it pays me more money. So you're gonna do something that you absolutely hate so that you can become the next postal person at a fucking job for money? Rather than you could be learning to do something that you actually do like and actually make some money off of it, even if it's a side gig. I would rather stay in a job that I can tolerate and making money and then do something I have on the side that's going to make me more money than put myself in a higher position of more stress with less time to myself for more pay. Think. Just stop for a moment and think. If you know it's going to be miserable, if you know the only reason why you're chasing it is strictly $4, you are about to fuck yourself up. If you can't think for any other reason to go into that thing other than the fact that you like it, you are about to fuck yourself up. I think that this is why I try, at least I try from time to time, to have conversations that I believe is going to matter to you. Not matter for a paycheck, not matter for donations, not matter for a grift, to matter to you. Because I try to talk to so many people who, quite frankly, wanted more for themselves. And they just didn't know what to do. This is why I make, by the way, this is why I make the kind of content that I do from time to time. I say, like, what exactly is the person that needs to start over? What exactly do they need to hear? Now, yes, I need to have a little bit of an entertainment element, and I need to bring forth other shit, and I try to bring up things or whatever. And sometimes I gotta be a little bit entertaining, and I spiel off into shit where I long stroke you guys. But don't ever say like I just try to make up bullshit content, because that's why I don't bother going live that much. Because if I don't really have nothing to say, why fucking hit the button? I see plenty of content creators that they don't drop nothing until they know what the hell they're talking about. And I see content creators that go live every day just hoping that somebody's going to donate. What's the purpose? What is the meaning? I think that is important. Proximity is not ownership. And debating something that you cannot control does not get you any closer to it. It just keeps you busy. Busy enough to avoid harder questions. Because if you really want to be able to build yourself to get somewhere else, you got to ask yourself questions. But if you're too busy to get questions in your head, to ask the better questions to get better answers, because even when you get the answer to those questions, it never stops there. You have to get a new question. But most of y'all keep yourselves busy because you're running in place. You keep yourself busy enough not to notice time passing. What's good, Will? You keep yourself busy enough not to take responsibility for the parts of your life that are actually in your control. And not for nothing, folks. This is why drama works so well. Drama is cheap. It's not expensive. Drama gives people identity without requiring any form of direction. All you have to do is just disagree. That's so easy for human beings. Because the first way that you can just turn around and disagree is to just not understand. Drama gives structure to people who don't know what the fuck they're actually building for themselves. And if they really piss you off enough, or you really get invested in these, honestly, scripts, drama, you wake up mad. And the first thing you want to do is you hit your phone and you log on. You react. Just so you can feel relevant. You think someone really gave a shit about the little comment that you put over in someone's Instagram? You really believe that it made a difference to them that you wrote it? No planning was required for them to even notice what you were saying, if they want to notice it. No accountability was required. But also, guess what? No risk was required. And I get it. Really. I do. I get it. Not everyone is ready for freedom. Let me say that again for you. Not everyone is ready for freedom. Because freedom sounds nice until you realize it comes with responsibility. Freedom is not just all this ambiguous shit. Freedom comes with responsibilities. Because it means that you don't get to blame the system anymore. You don't get to blame it for everything. It means that you don't get to hide behind your fucking outrage. It means that you don't get any claps, applause, likes for being angry. That's what it means to be free. And yeah, a lot of y'all will say that you claim that you want freedom. Brick, I appreciate it. Thank you, big dog. Brick over here sending the super chat in for $4.99. I agree. That llama in sheep's clothing. You guys don't really get it. Freedom will actually make you wake up, and it will actually help you decide what your life is actually worth. And then, and only then, you're going to begin to live with the consequences of actual decisions. And here's the truth of the matter. That terrifies people. So instead of you clinging to your controversy, they cling to the conflict. Instead of clinging to all the things that are really good, you like the conflict. You like to go to the spaces that reward you with reactions over reflections. Because you can do better. You can be enough. But you have to see yourself as being that. And you can't wait for someone else to give you to you. I said this before, even on the streams, because most of y'all don't like to look at a lot of the different streams I put up or whatever. Cool. No problem. All on you, not on me, because I dropped the gems. This is why rich people do so well and have so much free time, and they can flaunt on fucking things like Instagram or being on a podcast or whatever, because they purchase someone else to do the things that they don't want to do. They buy their time. They buy it. They purchase their time. Until you are actually in a state of your life where you can pay for someone else to do the shit that you know that you don't want to do, all the little petty shit, you don't really have a sense of freedom because you have to worry about allocating time. Some of you didn't even choose the path that you're on. You just fell into it and you've been rocking with it. You've been coasting. You didn't choose that shit consciously. Quitting your job and going for something else? No, I think I'm just going to stay here in this company another 10 years. And then wonder why nobody's really paying attention to you. What do they say? What's the saying? Complacency is the killer of joy. It is the killer of innovation. It is the killer of discovery. And you willfully got yourself dragged into it because you want to follow everyone in all these little controversy spaces, and you're wasting time and effort. dragged into communities where trolling is treated like discourse, dragged into conversations that don't ask anything of you except for your loyalty on the side, dragged into the circles where being loud is mistaken for being right. Motherfucker don't need to make no sense, but if he curses, if he calls people's name, he calls them stupid, and he's loud, and he fucking interrupts everybody, that motherfucker hitting. Ain't say a goddamn thing that's made any fucking sense or did shit that was fucking worth anything. And at some point, instead of stepping back and you adapting, you lean into it. And I think the only thing that you've learned is how to survive in it, in the drama, in the content, in the controversy. But you know what you haven't learned? How to clap back, how to stay visible within yourself, how to stay relevant within yourself, how to learn to decipher the bullshit. And I hate to say this, like, because a lot of people say, well, I survived a lot of shit. So have I in life. But let me also say this. Survival isn't growth, because survival is all about desperation. There's not much time for you to sit there and be inventive, to innovate, because it requires time and also for you to not be in a mind of struggle. Survival isn't growth. It's all just about adapting to make it past that day. Adaptation, by the way, isn't invention. At some point, you're going to have to ask a very, very difficult question. Simple question, but a difficult question. Is this actually where I want to spend my life force? Because time doesn't care about how long it takes for you. It doesn't. Time doesn't care about how many people agree with you in the motherfucking chat. Time does not give a shit about how righteous your argument sounded. It doesn't give a fuck. Time will always just keep it pushing. You think because I was right in the fucking chat, I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to feel like I'm so victorious. And the next day roll over and no one can even remember what the fuck you said the night before. The chat before, the stream before. No one fucking cared. And one day you're going to wake up older, louder, and no closer to the life that you've actually wanted. And whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? End of the day, whose fault is that? That's not a moral failure, by the way. That is a misallocation of your energy, of your time and your effort. And I refuse to misallocate mine. That's why I say that you could be more. You can do more. Are you leaning into doing things that are better? If you think that you're feeling stranded in your freaking job, what other things are you doing on your free time besides what? Sitting on fucking your phone or your fucking iPad or whatever all day. I know I want more from my life. Especially want more from my life than digital skirmishes, more than recycled outrage, more than pretending that this is all there is. I want urgency. I want ownership of my time. I want ownership of my choices. I want ownership of my direction. I want more depth to my existence. How could I say that I think that I'm doing well in life by watching other people succeed? I'm not doing shit, but I'm watching somebody else and I'm thinking, I live a good life. I've been told you guys, if you want to, you can always start a YouTube channel all yourself. You all got a Google account. Not to say that you're all going to be successful, but you can at least pick up the tools and the trades and do the what? The bare fucking minimum to learn how to do it. But that might be a little too much because it requires you to first do something. Get out of your own fucking head. I want to make content that entertains people, not for nothing, who are like me. People who like to think. People who feel. People who notice that there's a quiet bit of tension that's going on through their head between where their potential is, but also where their comfort is at. And having to judge their comfort zone versus their potential. I'm talking about people who actually sense that they're capable of more, that they can do more, they can earn more, they can get more. Like there is more to them than what somebody else tells them to do. But I'll be honest with you, that person can't be the type of person that wants to lie to themselves and lie to themselves about what the actual cost is going to be. And that person that doesn't ask themselves what the cost is, guess what they do? They already give it away freely because that cost is time. It is time. I want conversations that don't tell you what to think, but make it harder to avoid you actually thinking about it. Conversations that don't hand you answers, but leaves you only with better questions. Having more answers doesn't help you. Having better questions does. The most base thing that we have that got us this far in humanity was to always question. You need to be in a zone, in a new area, even if you're growing, you always need to have a new question, a better question that you're seeking. There is no the ultimate question. It's always, what is the question that I haven't even thought about yet? Because life doesn't need, honestly, commentators. What it needs are more participants. Let me say that one more time for you. Life actually does not need more commentators. It needs more participants. Too many of y'all, you're coasting, chilling. And I'm not saying that everybody's going to be able to do well. More people, if more people are willing to ask honestly, what am I doing with my time that I have? Not someday, not when things calm down, not when the internet agrees. I'm talking about right fucking now. Now. Let me say it again. I didn't come this far just to come this far. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Just the, not just the park, not even put on the emergency blinkers. Because some of y'all parked on the side of the road of your life. You don't even put your emergency blinkers on. And other people are coming by in life and they're passing by you. And because you don't even have your hazard lights on, and you don't even get that one person or multiple people who might actually pull over and ask you if you need some help. There's some of you people, I'm not gonna lie, you've been sitting on the side of that road, parked in your car for 10 years. Probably more. And you spend your time now on panels and chats just to fight strangers, just to argue about ideals that you don't even really have a full understanding of and that you won't even fucking get an outcome out of. Because you know why? You don't control it. There is more to life than this. There is more to life than you just wasting away. There is more to life than controversy. There is more fulfillment than attention. There is more power than just being loud. And honestly, if that makes you, fuck you. If that makes me boring to people who are addicted to chaos, if that makes me uninteresting to people who need beef in order to feel like they are alive, I'm good with that. I'm fucking good with that. You got a problem? Don't talk to me. Take it with your maker. Because I'd rather be free than familiar. Let me say that again to you. And you should probably want this for yourself. I would rather be free than familiar. I'd rather be intentional than viral. I'd rather build something real than win arguments that don't change a goddamn thing. This isn't a rejection of people. This is a rejection of emptiness. And if you're here because you feel kind of the same way, something that's quiet in you that actually pulls, I say you lean into that. That same sense that life is actually bigger than what's being offered to you currently, then you already know what this is about. There's no sense in hiding it because you've been feeling it longer than I've ever told you. We don't need to fight about it. It's evident without us even having to talk about it. We just need to try to live differently. And I think that's where the work is actually being done. The question I've always been asking you guys, not that many of you guys actually pay attention to it, but you've heard me say it enough times. Who is it that you're actually trying to be? Because who you are to be, you are now becoming. How many of you actually think about who you are actually trying to be? A lot of you guys do way more typing and way more talking than actually thinking and doing. You do way more reacting, way more plotting than actually executing. You spend way more time being distracted than trying to be productive. Where is it getting you? Where is it getting you? I notice these things and I say, hopefully someone understands the crux of what I do and what I talk about and why it's important. Because regardless of what you think, I know what direction I'm going in. I think a lot of you guys are just too busy being in the ideal of being distracted that, let's just be honest, in your real life, you're also distracted. Because your free time, even when someone's giving you game, you can't see it. Because you're looking for something that tends to be the same everywhere you go. You are stuck in an endless sea of chicken shacks, and you need some new food in your life. You need some new food for thought. All you've been eating is nothing but junk food. You need something really nourishing. And I'm not saying I'm the only person that can give that to you, because I realize that the only way for me to wean you off of the bullshit is to sometimes have to give it to you. Sometimes I gotta give you a little something because that's the only way you really take the message. But outside of that, leaving you on your own, you go back to other bullshit. And I'm just one person. You have to be the one to actually do all of the work. That doesn't mean that I can't help you at least think about it. Because I can guarantee the other places that you like to spend all your time in, because I've seen them, they don't help you do that. And I'm pretty sure someone's going to turn around and say, look, you think he's better than everybody else, missing the entire shit, even when I said it way in the fucking beginning, all of it. That this is the thing that they would say, by the way. Because why? It's to build outrage and then think that I would react to it. And guys, if you've been watching me long enough, you know how I do when people react to me. You don't really hear about it. There's a reason for that. It's not because I'm better than them. It's because time is important. And in fact, it's crazy because some of the people that I see that don't even react to that talk shit about me, crazy enough, because I don't think that they really should, have as the thing they like to point out, they have more subscribers than me. But then I also take a look at their streams and I know it's like, oh, they don't have nobody watching them. But they'll love to tell me how many people are subscribed to them. And I'm like, cool. When's the last time you did something? 3-4 months ago? Who was watching you when you last went live? Nobody. And then, of course, it's like, oh, I'm talking shit. No, it's an observation. Because I didn't even know you had these numbers until you opened your mouth about me. That's not me shitting on you. That's you highlighting yourself. Because if you were really about it, if you were really caring so much about your numbers, you know what you wouldn't be doing? Punching down. You wouldn't be punching down. You wouldn't be looking at other people who are not even close to your numbers to make yourself relevant. You guys should think about that when you see your people that you love watching debate back and forth and how they pick fights and how they do weekly content and everything. Who are they doing it for? Because if people can't stand on their own and they need someone else to make content, what's that mean? A talented person can always be able to build something on their own. Because that's how some of your biggest inventors are. People who actually just learned, collaborated, and then did shit on their own. And I'm not sorry about that. I'm not sorry about that one fucking bit. And there are people who are definitely capable in the space. I just think that they become very, very complacent. But honestly, I'm gonna leave y'all to it. I'm gonna leave you to it. I already told myself I'm not gonna drag my this off tonight. I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do, and I'm gonna get the fuck off. So that, since I told myself that, I'm going to do that right goddamn now. Take care of yourselves. This is a Friday night going into the weekend. I'm pretty sure other content creators, especially in this space, are about to go live, and they're gonna give you all your servings of junk food. So I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna let you go take care of that with them, and I will see you guys pretty much on the next one. DBD will probably be the next time you guys see me on Sunday, since we already skipped our last one, and I'll see you then. All right. Salute to all you. I hope that you're doing well. We will have a stream before the year ends out. Another stream besides the DBD. But you guys take care of yourselves. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. And of course, if I don't see you on my next stream, I'll see y'all in 2026, and hopefully y'all enjoy the rest of your time. All right. Later, y'all.